Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another weekly recap. Well, today is a very exciting day because after 2 years of waiting, Group Ironman is here. I woke up incredibly excited, even though I'm probably not going to play it too much. There's still a lot to be excited for. There are just so many people running through Tutorial Island right now, you just can't help but get a little hyped up. So today we're going to be talking about the Group Ironman launch, as well as anything else interesting in the old school RuneScape community. As always, thanks for watching, guys, and let's get started. Is that guy actually ice bursting a goblin? Well, that makes no sense. So finally, guys, Group Ironman is here. It's been an idea in the community for half a decade now, if not longer, and was originally pitched at RuneFest 2019. But we finally have it, guys. You can now team up with 2 to 5 of your close friends and progress through a regular Ironman experience. Most of the Group Ironman rules are very similar to a regular Ironman account, however there are some exceptions. If you're looking for a more in-depth video on everything you need to know about Group Ironman, I will leave a link in the description to a more in-depth video I made around a month ago. Now, anybody who wants to make a Group Ironman has to start from scratch, which means there are tons of people flooding Tutorial Island right now. Now, with today's update, a brand new location has been added to Tutorial Island called the Node. Now, to get there, you need to run through the entire tutorial, through the combat section, through the bank section, through the prayer section. Then right before you reach the last house, the mage house, you will see the Ironman tutor. You need to talk to him and then set your account to a Group Ironman mode. You can choose either a regular Group Ironman or a hardcore Group Ironman. Now, once you make your selection, you need to go finish up the mage tutorial, but importantly, do not teleport to the mainland. The tutorial has been modified slightly to give you a new arrow direction that will bring you a bit more south to a new location called the Node. Now, the Node is where you'll set up your team before you hit the mainland. Right now, there are hundreds of people on this island. Now, one really interesting thing I noticed yesterday was that one of my 3-year-old videos was all of a sudden getting tons of views, and that video is how to max an account on Tutorial Island, which actually turns out was my biggest brain play of all time. Because the night before, there were hundreds of people running through the tutorial, trying to get the highest level skill possible on Tutorial Island. So yeah, apparently I was making a Group Ironman guide without even realizing it. So like I said, the Node is where you can either create your own Ironman group or get invited to other people's. So once you've reached the Node, you can talk to the Group Ironman tutor. From there, you'll get the option to either create a group, and from here I can now invite other eligible members, or alternatively, you can wait around and have someone recruit you to their group. It's fairly user-friendly. Now, like I said earlier, if you're looking for a more in-depth explanation of all of the mechanics of Group Ironman, I will leave a link in the description to my more in-depth video. However, since that video, there have been a few additional changes. The most notable one is group storage. Now, of course, group storage is pretty key for Group Ironman. Otherwise, it'd be quite annoying to trade over all of your items. So group storage will be accessible via the bank interface and will be very similar to a regular bank, but it's only going to be accessible to Group Ironman and hardcore Group Ironman. Now, only one person can use the group storage at a time. And of course, you do still have the ability to store things in your regular bank. That way, they're not accessible. Obviously, you should, trust your group members, but, you know, some things you definitely want to keep safe. Now, someone might have to confirm this, but within the teaser image, it looks like the group storage is only 80 items, so quite small, although in theory, there's just a way to trade over large quantities of items to other people's banks, so you shouldn't need too many things in here at once. So beyond that, most of the core Group Ironman mechanics have remained mostly the same. Now, in addition with today's update, there has been a very large change to just regular Ironman accounts across the board, and that is that they can now buy bonds via the Grand Exchange on a Ironman account, which is pretty crazy because before you couldn't access the Grand Exchange at all. So the Grand Exchange interface looks a little bit different. You only have the option to buy items and presumably you can only buy the bond. Now this is pretty convenient because previously you'd have to use a tradable bond on your Ironman account, and there are extra expenses to make the bond tradable, so this will save Ironman money and just make it a little bit more convenient to do. So I'm pretty happy about that change. Other than that, there's only a few minor changes here. One thing I kind of find funny is they have banned the home teleport animation, which features a dancing cow in PvP, because of widespread disruption. Well, apparently guys, the cow emote was too overpowered for PvP, so it's been banned. And that is it for today's game update. Alright, so just a couple days ago, we finally got the return of the Gilenor Gazette. I'm not sure when the last one was, but I think it's been at least 3 months. Now, there are quite a few interesting tidbits of information in here, most of which we already know, but let's go through it all anyway. And now first up here at the top, there's a section for the recent leadership livestream. I have covered this, but essentially the 5 main takeaways from that. The duel arena is going to be removed eventually and replaced with more engaging content. However, that is a long-term goal. In the short term, they are looking to introduce a staking cap. We are hopefully going to get more information though in October. Now, another big thing they revealed on the live stream, that going forward, they're going to start putting a heavier focus on banning gold buyers as well. So everyday players who actually buy third-party gold will face more severe punishments. They touched on the game economy a bit, saying that they brought in even an expert on game economies, whoever that is, I don't know. Again, they're going to bring us more information later this month. And the biggest thing of all, at least in my opinion, is the announcement that they're going to be bringing Nex to old school. Now it looks like there's a few new teaser images I haven't seen yet. So we have a high resolution area of the main boss fight chamber. Actually a really cool design, I like it. I like the looming pit in the bottom, makes everything seem a little bit more precarious. It looks like we have the lobby. Lobby sounds kind of funny for a giant dangerous boss, but that could be it. And finally here we have Nex themselves, which I guess this is the original model I would assume, but I hope they change it a bit. It looks pretty outdated even for old school RuneScape. I think in this case we can make them look a little more menacing, but I'm pretty excited to see that some progress has been made. So of course we have Group Ironman, which just released a few hours ago. We covered that fairly in depth already. So under a month later, and we have Leagues 3, which is coming out on November 3rd. So next up here we have the Tombs of a Masket. And it looks like we're actually going to be getting a new reward blog and beta that's going to be arriving again in October. And it also came with a bit of a teaser image here. I'm not really sure what I'm looking at, like some kind of beetle. Pretty cool design though. We have wilderness changes that, who knows, may happen someday. What I'm really interested in here though is the wilderness boss rework. There are some really cool teaser images here for the reworked demi bosses in the wilderness. For so long now, these bosses have been very unsatisfying to kill because either they require way too strong of a gear setup to be viable to bring into the wilderness, or you just use a very janky safe spot to kill them. But looks like they made some progress on some of the new bosses, the new arenas. Looks like Sarachnis is going to be underground, or in at least some kind of layer now. Vedion also has its own separate chamber, it looks like. A couple things I'm really curious about is, first up, are they going to change the drop tables at all? Or are they leaving those completely the same? And if all the bosses are going to be in the chamber or underground, is it going to be similar to King Black Dragon, where you're safe within the chamber, but not outside? Or is it going to be more like Scorpia, for example? Now on top of that, they have released a bit more information on the Steam client. There's going to be a new feature drop coming on October 20th. With drop number 3, we're going to get a new side panel, an XP tracker sub panel, a Slayer helper and task streak tracking, respawn timers for ore and wood cutting, improved venom and poison info, and a logout notifier. And probably the most exciting thing of all is they're coming out with some of these features for the mobile client. And there are even some really interesting teaser images here, which I think will be a huge improvement for mobile. Ground items and a few other key plugins, I think mobile will be good to go. There's of course a lot more in the Gilenor Gazette if you want to read through all of it. There's always going to be a link in the description, but I think that's the more important parts. So anyway guys, that's going to be it for the weekly recap. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, let me know down below whether you're going to be playing Group Ironman or not. If you are, how you're enjoying it. I'm just really curious to see what people are doing. Thanks for watching guys, and I will see you next time. Now before I go here, I want to give a massive thank you to all of my members over on YouTube. Thanks so much to Sejuani's Flail, The Hybrid, Guy Fox, Timothy Chen, Ocelot, and Kush Patel for all being subscribed at the Dragon tier. You guys, it honestly means so much. You guys are willing to support me that much. Thank you. Also, a giant thank you to Base Titch, Mexos, NDM001, and Yo-Yo Sub 89 for being subscribed at the Runite tier. As always, if you guys are looking for another way to support the channel, becoming a YouTube member is an awesome way to do so. Mainly, you'll be immortalized in all of my future videos, but you also get a custom role in my Discord server, as well as access to my video release schedule. Thanks again, guys, and I will see you next time.